I want to share with you how Pablo Picasso taught me the value of experience. Stick around for some motivation. Back in 2013, I had a thought that I wanted to start my own company. In fact, to be honest, the idea had been in my head way before that because I genuinely thought that it was the only way to make my millions. And right now I can be a little bit honest and say that back then making loads of money was a huge motivator of mine. I genuinely thought that if you owned a business, that meant you would be instantly rich. And all I saw was business owners, and they had nice cars, they went on nice holidays, and they had loads of wonderful experience, and they all lived in nice houses. I only saw what was on the outside. Little did I know how wrong that was. I spent quite a lot of time researching and learning about what it took to run a business, and what shocked me was that 60% of businesses fail in the first 3 years. 60%. That number really stuck with me, knowing that half the businesses that are started do not succeed. What crushed me about that was that also I had no business experience, no degrees, no education really, nothing. How the hell was I going to set up a business and gain my riches? Especially when people who had studied business at universities and things, that wouldn't work for them. This, I thought, put a stop to my dreams. For a few years I put the thought to the back of my head, and I just accepted that perhaps, it's just not for me. It was in 2015, and I'd just been given a promotion at work into a role that, to be honest, I didn't really know that much about. I was punching like well above my weight, or so I thought. I'd been given the task of learning a subject and designing a course and delivering it to students. The subjects was one that I knew nothing about, nothing. And then I'd have to be delivering it and get audited on it. So I was a little bit nervous, to say the least. Anyway, the big day came. I was to be audited, and this involved an external auditor coming in and ensuring that I was delivering what was meant to be delivered in a correct manner and within the required subject guidelines. The end of the day came, and the guy hadn't really said anything all day. He just sat at the back of the class and took notes and wrote in his little notebook. It was really daunting, to be honest, and although it was daunting, I was quite confident that I'd done okay. The rest of the class left anyway, and he approached me and he said these words: "That was one of the best sessions I have ever sat in on." What? I was gobsmacked. It turned out that the only time he would have interjected in the lesson was if I'd have been getting it wrong, so he just stayed quiet. We got chatting and started discussing backgrounds and such like, and he said, and he, like me, was a veteran, and he'd had huge success in business, like when he'd left the military. He retired at 50 years old, and now he was assessing through choice purely because he was bored in his retirement. He didn't actually need to work, proven, by the way, by the fact he drove a high-end Aston Martin. And trust me, an assessor does not make enough money for one of the bad boys he was driving. My mind was alight, and I told him that, I'd once had dreams of owning and running my own business. However, I just didn't think I could because I didn't have any qualifications to speak of. His reply was something I didn't expect. He said this: "Why do you need qualifications when you've got the internet? What can a university teach you that you can't learn from the internet?" He also told me that he hadn't got any formal qualifications in business. I mean, what he did have though was he had a mindset and a purpose and a drive, and he knew what his goals were. And he also thought, well, I'll just get there because I'll just work out the stuff on the way. Anyway, we shook hands and off he went, and I don't really remember his name. However, he lit a very bright spark in my mind. That very night I sat in my hotel room and I started searching the internet and looking for answers. How do I create a business that will succeed? I mean, there are hundreds upon thousands of websites and books and articles about this. And to be honest, after about 3 or 4 hours of searching, I started to get a little bit put off because they all had different approaches and there was no real clear answer. Eventually, feeling a bit demotivated, I flicked onto YouTube and was presented with this image of a guy leaning against a board, and the gentleman's name was Jim Rohn. The title of the video was "Success Leaves Clues." I watched that video from start to finish and was a little bit blown away by it. I won't tell you anything about how or whatever it suggested because I want you to watch it and see if you get the same from it as I did. As I always say, the world will provide what you need and not what you want. YouTube had provided what I needed. I eventually went to sleep, and that phrase kept going round and round my mind: success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. I couldn't get it out of my head. I could see that I needed to find someone super successful and just kind of imitate how they did it. It turned out that Jim Rohn was the mentor of Tony Robbins. And for those of you who don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's an extraordinary person who has achieved extraordinary things. I thought, well, here's a guy who's super successful in business and at being a coach, the two things I really want to do. I could copy this guy's success model, right? So that's what I did. I started to learn about coaching and the human mind and business. There was one piece of the puzzle though that I didn't quite get. In fact, blatantly I missed it altogether, if I'm honest. And that's time, patience and experience. I honestly thought that I could just, by getting a few courses and qualifications, I'd be able to create a successful business alongside coaching people and I'd just have instant success. Well, needless to say, I started a business and within 3 years it collapsed. I was gutted. I thought, I'd followed the clues to the letter, and what's happened? And I won't lie, this was not a great period in my life. I lost a sense of purpose and focus. However, there was something bugging me that I couldn't quite get over. I knew I was good at helping people, and I knew I could run a business. I was just missing something, and it was this story that I'm about to tell you that made me realise what it was. The story goes like this, that one day Pablo Picasso was walking through a market and a lady stopped him and asked, "Mr. Picasso, please will you draw me a picture?" He replied, "Of course," and proceeded to draw a picture on a napkin. On completing the picture, he asked the lady for $1 million. She was shocked and said, "But Mr. Picasso, it only took you 2 minutes to draw." To which he replied, "Nah, it took me 40 years to learn how to draw this in 2 minutes. You see, when I looked how easily Tony Robbins was able to coach people and how he was able to run businesses, what I was missing was that he didn't just learn those skills overnight. He'd spent a lifetime working hard to master his craft so that he can deliver excellence in such an incredible way. He's learned from his mistakes, and I'm sure if you asked him, he will have made quite a few. And most of these, he would have got over. But the one thing he will have done is he'll have never given up. From the day I realised what I was missing, I've been doing this. I now practice every day to be the best I can be. I study and I read and I watch others to see how they do what they do. And I've been doing this now for over 6 years. And that is why now I am having so much success in my life. You too can have amazing success. It's not impossible and it's well within your grasps. All you have to do is understand that success leaves clues, then follow them. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and you will come up against challenges, but that's okay, it's part of the process. After all, life is effectively a test, and tests are not meant to be easy. Never think that you don't have what it takes, because I'm telling you, you do have what it takes. If I can do it, so can you. If you don't think you have an education, so what? Neither do I. And neither do many of the successful people I talk to. All you need is the will and the motivation just to go for it. So I'll leave you with this. There is no such thing as a problem, only a solution you just haven't found. And if you look hard enough, I promise you will find it. So be daring, be you, be all you can be the person who's willing to follow the clues that other successful people leave for you. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mindset peacocking way. Hey guys, really hope you enjoyed this video. It took a lot for me to sort of get my head around writing that, but I think that you'll get something from it. I hope you really do. If you do, please remember to press the like button or share it with people who might get something from it. I'd really appreciate that too. Leave a comment because that means the world as well. Look guys, we're doing another one tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Stay safe.